Utah Jazz. You got to be happy with where you guys are.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy. But then again, though, you know, we got that in the back of our mind. You never want to mess with a wounded animal, and that's what Utah is. They're going to come out even hungrier, more ready for us. But I know we're going to be on an all-time high, so we're going to be ready to play.
Well, they're going to have to nickname you Big Game C-Webb from now on.
I like that.
All right, let's go back to Bob in the studio.
Hey, Mom.
All right, Reggie and C-Webb, thanks very much. We want to get to stay at Sacramento. Jerry Sloan talking about the team's loss. Let's listen in.
I think they were aware of it. They fought him real hard early, and I think a lack of patience a couple of times. Carl used just a lack of patience a couple of times and hurt his shot rather than letting the offense come to him. That happens once in a while with guys that's a score, but he kind of settled down a little bit more in the second half. That's not unusual for him. You know, he'll just keep working and keep working. He's that kind of guy. You'll stop him for a while, but he'll keep fighting back. And he did that in the second half. I just thought they were alive. They were energetic. They were enthusiastic, and you can't take that away from them. No, that doesn't surprise me. You look at their talent, and they're as talented as anybody in the league. I think you got to be fair and honest about it. They got a new coach. They got a lot of new players. They had a lot of games early in the season. We knew how difficult it was. We had 3 overtime games with them. You know, so we have a difficult time playing. Bottom line is we have to have everybody play well in order to compete against this team. I don't care where they finish. That doesn't have anything to do with it. You know, we're certainly aware of who they are.
Certainly aware of who they are. It's the team that beat them tonight to go up 2-1 in the series. And you mentioned the energy that the Kings had. Very excited Kings team, but it's got to be controlled excitement, Coach, doesn't it?
It's got to be very controlled because they're only up 2-1. It takes 3 fellas to get the win. So you got to come out this fourth game. You got to play like you've been playing the whole time, up and down, control the tempo, and run. But you can't say it's over. It's far from over.
I love Jerry Sloan. I mean, everybody else was making excuses for his team, blaming the referees, the media, whatever. You know, he's saying it like it is. I mean, he has a tough time against this athletic big team. And if we can just talk about Webber for a second, I figured, considering his experience with calling times out, I figured he was the one that kept icing Fuller. I haven't seen anybody ice like that since Walt Disney.
Yeah, if anybody knows the timeout, isn't that? No, it's not. Anyway, all right. The winner of this series, of course, goes on to face the Portland Trailblazers, who advanced to the second round. Let's take a look at what happened in their game against the Phoenix Suns. Just before the half, watch Danny Manning fouling Isaiah Ryder very hard. Ryder gets up and says, all right, I'm good with that. Blazers up by 11 at the break. More Ryder later off the turnover. They kick it up court, and Ryder takes it home. Blazers up by 13 at that point, but he got hurt. Off the loose ball. Tom Gugliotta, watch this, falling on Ryder's right knee. He would have to leave the game at that point with a partial sprain. Blazers still in control. Suns, though, went on a 22-6 run with Ryder gone. Jason Kidd, wild pass to Manning for the 2, and then Kidd at play, dishing to Cliff Robinson, who gets it to go off the glass and gets the foul. Suns pulled it within 1. But look who's back. Ryder, and he vents a little frustration, gets the tee for going forearm on Pat Garrity's throat. Blazers go to work in the 4th. Rasheed Wallace, inside feed, throws it down and draws the foul. Blazers taking a 2-point lead there. And Brian Grant later finishes things off. Nice clutch shot to turn around. 103-93. Blazers advance to the second round with a win over the Suns. They go on to face either Utah or Sacramento. Brian Grant, of course, in the game, 20 points, 10 rebounds, and Ryder, 18 points in 28 minutes. For more from this series, let's go out to Beth Mullins.
Well, Coach Mike Dunleavy, congratulations on advancing to the second round. It must sound very good as a Portland coach to be able to say that after 7 years that the franchise hasn't been able to move on.
Well, you know, we haven't been around for all those years, just the last 2. But the thing I told the players tonight when I came in here, I was so proud of them because this was as much a mental win as it was a physical win for us. And it shows great growth on our part since the beginning of training camp, and I couldn't be happier.
You wanted to close it out in 3, I guess, from a mental standpoint and perhaps physically as well. how much is this going to help? You might have as much as a week off before your second round game.
Well, we've got some guys that are banged up, but any time off is, will be appreciated by our guys. They get the day off tomorrow, and then we start preparing for our next opponent, and we're just excited.
Congratulations. Best of luck in the second round.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Beth and Coach, thanks very much. Well, the Suns, what happened? Luke Longley, the import from the Bulls. He wears the championship rings, $30 million. It's not all about the money. We focus on that too much. What the Suns would have liked is if he focused a little more on scoring. Just 4 points in the series. He came up with a donut in Game 2 and was 2 of 12 overall. So the Suns struggle. The Blazers move on. We always talk about a step backward for the Blazers, it seems, in the playoffs. This is a giant step forward, Coach.
This is a huge step for the Portland Trail Blazers. But Paul Allen and Bob Woodson, they're not happy because they got out of the first round. They want this team to get to the finals, so they're going to go back, take a day off, and get ready for practice. And they're probably pulling for Sacramento since they're 4-0 against Sacramento. Pete, what do you think?
No, absolutely, yeah. But except I don't know if they want Isaiah Ryder on the streets for the next 4 or 5 days. Get that electronic bracelet. Talk about Luke Longley, right? I mean, this guy signed the big contract. The Suns still don't have any defense or offensive presence in the middle, so they've got to go out after this season now and try to find one. How about Antonio McDyess?
Is he available? I don't know. It's all about controlled excitement at this point, isn't it? Especially in Ryder's case. All right, much more to come on Inside the NBA. We will take a look at the Heat and the Knicks. Miami came in knowing it could win in New York, but the Knicks had other ideas. And the Hawks and Pistons, Atlanta with a chance to end it all tonight. But the end for them came quicker than anyone expected.